UFC Fight Night Holloway versus Allen is this weekend. I'm going to be giving you a full card prediction and breakdown from start to finish, from the early prelim to the main card to the main event of these matchups on this card. I believe we have 14 matchups, so there's quite a bit. But without further ado, let's get right into them. We have Joselyne Edwards versus Lucie Pudilova. 12-4 Edwards, 27 70 inches of reach. Pudilova 14-7, 28 years of age and 67.5 inches of reach. I believe Joselyne Edwards will have a 2.5-inch reach advantage in this matchup. I think I am going to go with Joselyne Edwards in this matchup. I think she can keep a good distance on the feet. Her last couple fights have been against, Jeon Kim, against Ramona Pascual. I believe that was, on week notice. So, yeah. So, she came on short notice for this matchup and won by split decision. So, I think she's going to be able to keep a good distance on the feet, win the stand-up, avoid some of the takedown scenarios from Pudilova. I guess this is one of those, women's MMA matchup. So bet at your own will on this, but I am going to go with Joselyne Edwards by decision. Up the card, we have Gaston Bolanos versus Aaron Phillips. Bolanos 6-3, 30 years of age, 70.5 inches of reach. Phillips 12-4, 33 years of age, and 69 inches of reach. Bolanos will have a 1.5-inch reach advantage in this matchup. Bolanos, pretty much a KO guy. He's pretty much a KO artist. His last fight was against Daniel Carey on Bellator 277. Right hook to ground strikes, round 1. I believe with like a second left in there, or at least, I don't know. I forgot how Tapology does this. Is it based on the time? I don't know. I couldn't find this fight online, so. But I did watch a couple of his other fights. But yeah, he's pretty much a KO artist. Very entertaining fighter. He's very good on the feet. I am a little worried about his cardio in general, but against a guy like Aaron Phillips, who lost to Jack Shore by rear naked choke and then beat, I didn't see that fight, but he did lose to Jack Shore in the UFC by rear naked choke. I think Gaston Bolanos wins this one by KO. I think he does enough damage on the feet. I am a little worried cardio-wise, but I think second round we could see a KO. He is known for his spinning elbow KOs. He was a big Muay Thai guy. He got a spinning back elbow here, another spinning back elbow there. This fight, where is it at? Where's it at? This is a spinning back elbow. I saw that one online also. I don't know why it says spinning back fist, but I'm pretty sure it's a spinning back elbow from what I saw. But yeah, he's a lot of good spinning attacks. I think we might see one here. Aaron Phillips kind of droops his head a little bit. So I think Gaston Bolanos by second round KO is what I'm going to go with for this matchup. Up the card, we have Bruna Brasil versus Denise Gomez. Brasil 8-2, 29 years of age, 66 inches of reach. Gomez 6-2, 23 years of age, and 63 inches of reach. Brasil will have a 3-inch reach advantage in this matchup. I am going to go with Bruna Brasil. I don't know if you guys have seen her Contender Series matchup, but it was an absolutely brutal head kick win. Very similar to Leon Edwards, but it was pretty much like flipped. So she did the same setup that Leon Edwards did against Kamaru Usman, and then just put her absolutely out cold. This was a vicious KO. If you watch around some of the media stuff of the UFC and some of the other Twitter and social medias that do broadcast that kind of stuff, you probably have seen it. So she looked very impressive there. Denise Gomez was also on the Contender Series, beat Ryan Dos Santos by decision, and then Lassa Luma Lukbunmi, who is a good women's fighter in general. So she is still very young. I am going to go with Bruna Brasil because I think she's just a longer fighter in general, and I think she might be able to get this done by KO, maybe in the third round when Denise Gomez starts to slow down a little bit more. I think Bruna Brasil can keep a really good distance on the feet here. So I'm going to go with Bruna Brasil. Tapology has the same. They have her by decision, but there is a very solid chance of a KO. Maybe she wins by TKO in this matchup, but it's either going to be decision or KO for this women's MMA matchup. Up the card, we have Lando Vannata versus Daniel Zellhuber. Vannata 12-6, 31 years of age, 71 inches of reach. Zellhuber 12-1, 23 years of age, and 77 inches of reach. Zellhuber will have a 6-inch reach advantage in this matchup. Lando Vannata coming off a very, I don't want to say embarrassing, but he did get beaten pretty bad against Charles Jourdain. Got pantsed at the end, which is a lot of people saw in that fight, which was a little embarrassing. But yeah, he got pantsed in that last fight. Got pretty much wrecked by Charles Jourdain. A year earlier, beat Mike Grundy, and then lost to Bobby Green like a year earlier than that. So he's not the most active fighter, but against a guy like Daniel Zellhuber, who just lost to Trey Ogden on the feet. Yes, Trey Ogden, who I believe, let me check this real quick because I want to make sure I'm correct here. Trey Ogden lost on the feet to Jordan Levitt. Lost a split decision, but still lost on the feet to Jordan Levitt, So I am still going to trust Daniel Zellhuber here. I think he has enough of a reach advantage, and I think he's still very young. My hope is that he learned from it. I believe this is, Vannata moving up to 155 in this matchup. So we'll see how that looks, but I am going to go with Daniel Zellhuber by decision. This one's pretty 50-50. Tapology is taking Vannata. I'm going to stick with Zellhuber here. He's still young. It was his first loss in his career debut in the UFC. I'll just edge with that, at least, I hope, But I am going to go with Zellhuber by decision. I am very worried, though. Very, very worried. Up the card, we have Piera Rodriguez versus Gillian Robertson. Rodriguez 9-0, 30 years of age, 63 inches of reach. Robertson 11-7, 27 years of age and 63 inches of reach. Same reach, so there's going to be no differential there. But for this one, I am going to go with Piera Rodriguez. I think she can keep on the feet. I don't think she's quite Maria Agapova, so I think she is going to be able to keep on the feet. She's beaten Sam Hughes, Kay Hansen, and then beat Valeska Machado on the Contender Series. So she's beating some of the chicks that she should be beating, obviously by decision. I believe Gillian Robertson just came off of a grappling event submission over Rose Namajunas pretty quickly. So I guess that's kind of impressive. But yeah, I believe she has the most submissions in strawweight or like flyweight history. So that's impressive too. But I just think Piera Rodriguez is going to be smart enough and not bring this one to the ground. And not get it to the ground. So I'm going to go Piera Rodriguez by decision here. I think she gets it done. Up the card, we have Ed Herman versus Zak Cummings. Herman, 24-15, 42 years of age, 75 inches of reach. Cummings, 24-7, 38 years of age and 75 inches of reach. Same reach here. Last fight for Ed Herman was a loss to Alonzo Menifield. For that, beat Mike Rodriguez by submission. Beat Kadzi Ibragimov. And then beat Patrick Cummins. Zak Cummings, last fight he has a win over Alessio Di Chirico about 2.5 years ago. I can't speak today, I guess. Lost to Omar Akhmadov and then beat Trevin Giles by submission. Then before that beat Trevor Smith. But he hasn't fought in 2.5 years. For Ed Herman, he hasn't fought in about 1.5 years, 1 3/4, however you want to get into it. But I think that last fight for Ed Herman, he did not look good at all. I think the durability really is a problem for him. I think Zak Cummings, because he has been so inactive, you might edge it to him in that way. But yeah, Tapology has him winning by decision. I just think the durability of Ed Herman is all the way down. He did not look good at all against Alonzo Menifield. So I'm going to stick with Zak Cummings in this matchup. They're both pretty old. Ed Herman, 42. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Zak Cummings for sure. This matchup, probably by decision. I'm not too sure if he gets the finish here because he is pretty old too. So up the card, we have Brandon Royval versus Matheus Nicolau. Royval 14-6, 30 years of age, 70.5 inches of reach. Nicolau 19-2, 30 years of age, 66 inches of reach. I believe Royval will have, let's see the math, 4.5-inch reach advantage in this matchup. I am going to go with Nicolau. I think Brandon Royval, who has actually fought some of the better fighters in the flyweight division, some of the top ranked fighters. He lost to Pantoja, lost to Brandon Moreno, beat Kai Kara France, which is kind of impressive, but beat him on the ground. But the last fight was a win against Matt Chanel, but he was on his way to losing that before. I believe latching was it like a guillotine or something. I believe he got like dropped and then put in a submission and then reversed it on Matt Chanel and ended up winning that fight. So did not look good necessarily there. For Matheus Nicolau, last fight was against Matt Chanel and KO'd him on the ground. Looked super patient, looked really good in that fight. Better than Royval looked in that fight for sure. Beat David Dvorak, who's tough in the flyweight division. Beat Tim Elliott, who's tough in the flyweight division. He beat the test of the flyweight division 100%. He's fought some really tough guys coming up. So I am going to go with Matheus Nicolau. He is 30 years old. I think he's a little bit younger than Brandon Royval, but I do think he gets it done. I think he's going to be a little bit more patient on the feet. But I think he does get this one done by decision. Tapology has it 65% by decision and 19% for KO for Nicolau. Obviously 70 and 22% for Royval. So some people have Royval. I'm going to stick with Matheus Nicolau. New guy coming up. I think he gets it done for sure against Brandon Royval. Up the card, we have TJ Brown versus Bill Algeo. Brown 17-9, 32 years of age, 73.5 inches of reach. Algeo 16-7, 33 years of age, 73 inches of reach. TJ Brown will have a half-inch reach advantage in this matchup. TJ Brown, his last couple fights, win against Eric Silva, lost to Shailan Nordambike, beat Charles Rosa. Bill Algeo lost to Andre Fili. I thought he won that fight. It was a very close fight, though. It was kind of like the similar argument to Volkanovski, Makhachev in that 4th round, if you kind of want to look at it. But I think he did a little bit more damage here. But I thought he won that fight. I was actually thinking about making a video on the fight because it honestly bothered me so much because I wanted Bill Algeo to win so badly because I picked him, but it is what it is. He beat Herbert Burns, pretty much embarrassed him on the ground. I believe Herbert Burns basically just quit in that matchup because he just took so much damage. I think Algeo got caught in a submission pretty early on, but was able to get out and do quite a bit of damage to Herbert Burns on the ground. Then beat Joe Anderson Brito by decision. I am going to go with Bill Algeo. I think he has looked very good in his last few performances. Did really well against Andre Philly, although it went to a split decision. Beat Herbert Burns, pretty much made him quit, and then beat Joe Anderson Brito. So I'm going to go with Bill Algeo. Bill Algeo 86% to 14% for TJ Brown, 82% by decision. I think I'm going to go with decision also for this matchup. Should be a fun fight. Up the card, we have Clay Guida versus Rafa Garcia. Guida 38 and 22, 41 years of age, 70 inches of reach. Garcia 15 and 3, 28 years of age and 68 inches of reach. Guida will have a 2-inch reach advantage. I think I am going to go with Rafa Garcia. His last fight, he beat Mahashate, which is a solid win. Had a decently close fight with Drakkar Klose. Did decent in that fight, in all honesty. Beat Jesse Ronson like he's supposed to. Beat Natan Levy, which is a decent win, I guess. Natan Levy's all right. And then, but lost to Chris Grudesmacher, so we won't talk about that one. But Clay Guida beat Scott Holtzman. I had Holtzman not necessarily in the fight, but I predicted him to win the fight. I guess Holtzman was too old. He retired after the fight. And then he lost to Claudio Puelles by knee bar. Not a great sight there. Won against Leonardo Santos by submission, so that's not bad. I am going to go with Rafa Garcia. He is a younger fighter, substantially younger. Like, what is that, 12 years? 12 years younger, 13 years younger than Clay Guida. So, yeah, I'm going to go Rafa Garcia. I think he's going to do way better on the feet, and I think he wins this one by decision. Up the card, we have Pedro Munoz versus Chris Gutierrez. Munoz, 19 and 7, 36 years of age, 65 inches of reach. Gutierrez, 19 and 3, 31 years of age, 67 inches of reach. Gutierrez will have a 2-inch reach advantage in this matchup. I'm going to go Chris Gutierrez. He actually put Frankie Edgar out cold. Very brutal loss, especially in front of his family. Like, come on, dude. I don't actually mean that, but he put him out very, very early. Like a year before that, who was it? Chito Vera couldn't really even do that early. Like, Chito Vera went to like third round with him, and Frankie Edgar was winning. But this is a way older Frankie Edgar. Got kneed out cold, very brutal. Beat Dana Baccarel. Or Baccarel Dano, however the hell you say some of these names. Beat him by KO, spinning back fist to elbows. And then for Pedro Munoz, last fight was a draw to Sean O'Malley. Very controversial with some fans. I mean, I thought, just because the judges score it, I just think it's very interesting scoring-wise. Leg kicks, even if they are checked, they are still counted as strikes. So I guess pretty much Pedro Munoz wins that. But I think if you count checks, Sean O'Malley could have won that, but it did get ended due to an eye poke. That was kind of a controversy too, because of the which eyes he was holding or whatever. But it did look kind of brutal there. Lost to Dominic Cruz, dropped him in one round. I believe it was 2-1 Dominic Cruz in that one, and then lost to Jose Aldo. So we'll have the reach advantage here. I just think he gets it done by decision. I think he just outstrikes Pedro Munoz on the feet. Maybe Pedro Munoz wins a round in this one, but I still think Chris Gutierrez wins this by a decision. Tapology has 25% by KO TKO and 68% by decision. I am going to go with the decision for Chris Gutierrez in this one. Up the card, we have Ian Cutelaba versus Tanner Boser. Cutelaba, 16 and 9, 29 years of age, 75 inches of reach. Boser, 29, 31 years of age, 75.5 inches of reach. Boser will have a half-inch reach advantage in this matchup. This matchup is, I just don't trust Cutelaba in general, but I think I picked him way too many times. But I also think he gets it done against Tanner Boser. So I'm going to go with Boser. I just don't trust Cutelaba in general. I'm going to go with Cutelaba. I don't trust Cutelaba in general. But I do think he gets it done. I think he'll be faster. I think he'll be better on the ground. Boser is moving down from the heavyweight division, I believe. I believe his last fight was against Rodrigo Nascimento. Lost that one by split decision. But yeah, this one was at heavyweight. So Boser will be slimming down in this one. Cutelaba, I feel like this one's kind of his last chance. I'm rooting for him. I think he wins this, so I'm going to go with him here. Boser is actually favored to win in Tapology, which is very interesting. 80% by KO TKO, 14% by decision within the 68% margin, 32% on Cutelaba. That's very, very interesting. I am going to go with Cutelaba, though. I think I picked him way too much, and I think did I pick him against Johnny Walker? I think I did. Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna go with Iron Cutelaba. I'm not sure if I picked him against Kennedy Nzechukwu. I think I picked Nzechukwu, but I could be wrong there also. But yeah, I'm gonna go Iron Cutelaba, even though I don't trust him here. He could lose this. I hope he doesn't, but I have Cutelaba by decision. Yeah, Cutelaba by decision. I think he uses wrestling. Up the card, we have Dustin Jacoby versus Azmat Mirzakhanov. Jacoby 18-6, 35 years of age, 78 inches of reach. Mirzakhanov 12-0, 34 years of age and 71 inches of reach. Jacoby will have a 7-inch reach advantage in this matchup. I am going to go with Dustin Jacoby's last matchup. I believe he got robbed pretty badly against Khalil Roundtree. I thought he won that fight pretty clearly against Khalil Roundtree. Knocked out Daun Jung pretty well. Put him out. I picked Daun Jung in that one. I didn't think he was totally out cold. He kind of just got up right after. It was one of the weirdest KOs I've seen. But beat Mikhail Oleksiejczuk by decision. I believe he was injured going in that fight. I think he said he couldn't kick or something like that. So very impressive wins there, especially recently. Azamat Mirzakhanov last fight was a KO win over Devin Clark. Before that, won a KO flying knee over Tafon Nzechukwu. Did I say that right? Nzechukwu, yeah. But I am going to go with Dustin Jacoby. I think he gets it done on the feet. Maybe a possible KO chance here, but I do think he wins this by decision. I think he just outstrikes Azamat Mirzakhanov on the feet. Tapology has 66%. Jacoby, 74% by decision. So, yeah, I reckon Dustin Jacoby does outstrike Mirzakhanov in this matchup. Maybe Mirzakhanov gets like one round here, but I just think Dustin Jacoby has good takedown defense. I think he's going to be able to get this one to a decision, just winning by outstriking Mirzakhanov in this one. Up the card, we have Edson Barboza versus Billy Quarantillo. Barboza 22-11, 37 years of age and 75 inches of reach. Quarantillo 17-4, 34 years of age and 70 inches of reach. Barboza will have a 5-inch reach advantage in this matchup. Edson Barboza's last couple matchups against Bryce Mitchell, he lost to decision. Giga Chikadze lost by KO. Beat Shane Burgos with the right hook, which is pretty impressive. And then, beat Makwan Americani by a decision, which you should. Billy Quarantillo beat Alexander Hernandez by KO in his last matchup, especially very recently. Lost to Shane Burgos by decision. I cannot speak today, Jesus. Beat Gabriel Benitez by KO and then lost to Gavin Tucker by decision. So, I am going to go with Billy Quarantillo here. I think he can mix in his takedowns and his stand-up, and I think he'll really confuse Barboza here. It is a 3-round fight, so I think Quarantillo can definitely pick up the pace here and start doing a lot of stuff to Barboza, make him guess and not feel super comfortable on the feet. Barboza just got completely out-wrestled and grappled by Bryce Mitchell. I believe he did get knocked down in that matchup too, just because the wrestling threat was just so strong there. So Tapology actually has surprisingly 52% to Barboza. I think Barboza is kind of starting like declining right now, so I don't necessarily trust him. I do believe he is declining, very sadly. 37 years of age, 34. So there's a 3-year difference, but it's a very, very important difference. 34, you're still kind of in that prime area. 37, you're like starting to move out of there. So I think Billy Quarantillo gets this one done by decision. I think he mixes in his takedowns, and I think he keeps it on the feet. But I'm pretty sure Barboza can like stop a couple of them, but I think it's just more of just throwing him out there just to get him thinking about those so you can get more done on the feet. So I'm going to go with Billy Quarantillo by decision in this matchup. Up the card, we have Max Holloway versus Arnold Allen. Holloway 23-7, 31 years of age and 69 inches of reach. Allen 19-1, 29 years of age and 70 inches of reach. Allen will actually have a 1-inch reach advantage in this matchup. For Max Holloway's most recent fight, his last fight was a loss against Alexander Volkanovski in the trilogy. I believe, yes. He got completely 5-0'd in that matchup. Volk did very well in that matchup. Beat Yair Rodriguez. Very fun fight to watch. Yair definitely put up a good fight there. Pretty much schooled Calvin Kattar on the feet in that one by decision. Lost to Alexander Volkanovski in their second fight by split decision, and then lost to Alexander Volkanovski in their first fight. For Arnold Allen, his last fight was a win over Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar got injured, I believe, in like the second round. I believe he got the injury in the first round or something, threw a flying knee. Put it in landed very weird, screwed up his knee. So it's very unfortunate. I really wanted to see how Arnold Allen looked for the rest of that fight because he does have a kind of like a cardio conditioning problem there. but I did kind of want to see that a little bit more. But did look very good against Calvin Kattar early on, especially in the stand-up. Beat Dan Hooker by KO, pretty much finished him very quickly. Beat Sadiq Youssef, which is a very good win by a decision. And then beat Nick Lentz by a decision also. For this matchup, I am going to go with Max Holloway, but I think it is going to be a very close fight. I think Max Holloway in 5 rounds is going to be a little bit more consistent than Arnold Allen. I think early on, Arnold Allen will look very good. I think he'll look very good on the feet. I think he'll actually steal like a couple, I wouldn't say steal, but I think he wins the first 2 rounds. First round, Max Holloway is a little bit more patient heading in there, but I think Arnold Allen is just going to be pressuring quite a bit, using his explosive power and just coming at Holloway. And he's going to be quick. I think he's going to use a lot of his gas tank, which is why I'm worried for the ending of the fight. Well, I wouldn't say ending of the fight, but towards like the second half of this fight because of the cardio of Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen is legit just like gases in 3-round fights. So 5-round fights, maybe we want to see the difference there. I was really looking forward to that 5-rounder with Kattar just to see what he'd look like, especially on the feet in 5 rounds. But I guess we'll kind of get to see it against Holloway here. Barring nothing happens, I'm knocking on wood for it. No injuries, no nothing, no screwy business for this main event. But I really hope this is a very fun fight. I think, again, Arnold Allen gets the earlier rounds, first and second round. I think the 3rd round is going to be very, very close, and I think Max Holloway gets the second half of this more towards like the 4th or 5th. I think the 3rd round is going to be very close, so I think whoever wins that 3rd round is going to basically win this fight. I think whoever wins this, it'll probably be by split decision is my guess. I think maybe one of the judges will have it either way. I think Arnold Allen will probably start to rely on his wrestling a little bit more in the second half of the fight, and maybe Holloway stuffs it a little bit more because these guys are a little bit more sweatier, and the cardio of Arnold Allen may be failing him at that point. So 65% of Tapology has Holloway, which is very surprising. I thought it would be a little bit more bigger, if that makes any sense grammar-wise, but 65% Holloway is actually surprising. 79% by decision, 14% by KO. That's actually very, very interesting. Is there some by submission here? 1% by submission. Very interesting. Allen, 35%, 68% by decision, 23% by KO. So they think maybe Arnold Allen might be able to crack the chin of Max Holloway, which would be very interesting. Max Holloway did take quite a bit of damage in his last fight against Volkanovski. Took the time off though. 7 months off. Very good for him there, especially recovering. At 31 years old, he's still very young. Arnold Allen's only 29, also only 1 defeat in his career. We'll see how this one goes. I think this is actually very important for both these guys. Max Holloway with a win over Arnold Allen. Depending on how Volkanovski and Yair Rodriguez goes, he might be able to get a title shot if Rodriguez wins, but I think Volkanovski wins that fight. So we'll see what happens here. I think a 4th fight between Max Holloway and Volkanovski won't be as intriguing to some people just because of how that last fight went between them, which I don't know why I'm necessarily talking about that, but I'm just saying on the other side of this fight in general. But for Arnold Allen, he'll probably get a title shot if he does beat Max Holloway. It seems like Max Holloway is probably going to be the gatekeeper for the title shot if he does lose some of these matchups. But again, very, very important matchup here. Very interesting matchup. I am going to go Holloway by a decision. 48-47, I think is going to be very close. Arnold Allen starts to tire out towards the end of this fight, and that's how I think Max Holloway wins this fight. But Arnold Allen can definitely win this fight for sure, maybe even by a decision. I think maybe he could get the first 3 rounds. It's not like Max Holloway has crazy power in his hands. I believe he's the most hit fighter in the UFC, and maybe I don't know the stat necessarily, but I think he's thrown the most and gotten hit the most. So we'll see how his chin holds up in this matchup. I don't know if it gets cracked by Arnold Allen, but Arnold Allen definitely has the power, the explosiveness, and the speed that could definitely give Max Holloway some issues in the fight. So I'm going to go with Max Holloway by decision here, but I do think Arnold Allen does put on a very good performance. So yeah, I'm going to go Max Holloway by 48-47 decision in this matchup. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments below, and I'll see you guys